here at the Boxing Fanatico show. We got episode 6, so hype. Let's go, champ, by Hashim47. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. AP, whatever, is in here as well. Now, I get it. I know they've been talked about all this Ryan Garcia quit stuff or whatever. But listen, I need to put a title in here, and I wasn't here to talk about it, right? So we're gonna talk about other things. Obviously, some more developments from that stuff. We're gonna talk about the pay-per-view numbers briefly because, hey, listen, I was right. It's confirmed. Like, we got it from a source, but now it's confirmed. It's directly from the promotion that put the fight together, directly from Showtime. It did at least 1.2 million buys. So my prediction was not so crazy as people made it out to be when I first made that prediction, that the fight would break the 1 million barrier that is oh so elusive for so many people. Let me make this a little bit bigger, just so I can see you guys. It can look bigger to me when you guys talk. All right. Hopefully that's a little bit better for you guys too. AP, whatever. How you doing, brother? Fight week, yes sir. It's Canelo Alvarez versus Ryder this week, which I have Canelo winning that fight, but you never know. You come a long way, man. Glad to see you doing well. Zachary Brunner, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you. So much love. I got you guys on my left side, but I definitely want to start talking about Ryan Garcia actually full-blown admitting that he quit. Now, when I did my video, there were some people that were saying, hey, nah, man, he didn't quit. He couldn't get up. He was hurt. When you get hurt with a liver shot, you can't get up. And I understand that 100%. When you're hurt to the liver, it is very tough to get up. It is. It's a paralyzing feeling. You actually can't move, and it's incredibly, your body feels like cement, and it's incredibly debilitating. You really can't do anything. But that's not how Ryan looked when he got dropped, and that's what I pointed at. I said Ryan did not look like he was in that state, a state of someone who is in agony from their liver shot. He looks too aware of his environment, too aware of Tank over there, the referee over here. Tank could have hit him. He kind of moved out the way to not get hit by Tank. Too aware of his surroundings, where it wasn't like he was so focused by the shot to the liver, which made me believe that he was hurt, but he wasn't out. He decided to not continue because he knew that it was going to be difficult. He wasn't figuring out what to do next. It was going to be a tough night for Ryan Garcia if he got up. So that's another thing that a lot of people were like, no, you're wrong on that or whatever. And I'm telling you, just from seeing how Ryan's reaction is, he doesn't look like a person who's completely incapacitated from that liver shot. He looks like a person who's very self-aware of what's going on. Ryan looked mentally defeated. Yeah, he was defeated within the fight psychologically, yes. He was defeated in that respect. He knew that getting up was dangerous. That he wasn't going to be able to figure out what to do next. He knew that his plan A wasn't working, and he didn't bring a plan B with him. So it's tough, man. It's tough. Him admitting that he quit means nothing. A lot of people predicted that Tank would stop him, and that's what happened. I mean, him admitting that he quit did nothing. I don't understand how that means nothing. It's not a. And I don't know how that could be perceived as a slight to Tank. This is in no way, shape, or form a slight to Tank. This doesn't bring any negativity to Tank. So I don't understand why you would assume that this is a negative thing that would help or go against Tank. If anything, this helps Tank. This is just like the Lomachenko's Nomaschenko's moments when he made Guillermo Rigondeaux and Nicholas Walters say they didn't want to fight anymore. It doesn't matter that they quit. It still shows that Lomachenko's a beast. The same way this still shows that Gervonta Tank Davis is a beast. I had to get a little bit of salsa water there. I've been seeing people saying that Ryan took a dive. I don't personally believe that, but do you think that sort of thing still happens in boxing? I don't believe in first of all, I'm not a person that goes into conspiracy theories. I just don't. When it comes to boxing, I really do not. Like, I'm not ever gonna think that the referee was paid. I'm not ever gonna think that the judges were paid or whatever. I'm not gonna think that a glove was loaded unless there's actual proof. Now, there has been proof that, people have done loaded gloves and stuff like that. The Margarito situation, right? So there's proof of it, but until I see that, because there's so many middlemen stopping things like that from happening, that it's very difficult, especially in modern boxing, to pull it off. So I don't say something happened just because I think, it might have happened, therefore I think it happened, or a group of people are saying they think it happened, therefore I think it happened. No, if they catch a person with illegal hand wraps, that's when I say, the person had illegal hand wraps. So I'm not one of those people that sit and say, hey, look, I think this guy took a dive, or he's supposed to get knocked out because he paid everyone to knock him out, so everybody gets knocked out on purpose because it's part of the contract that's hidden. Meanwhile, there's no evidence of that. I'm not one of those people that do that. So I do not think that he took a dive in respects to they paid him to take a dive, they paid him a little extra under the table. I don't believe in that stuff. I think he just did not want to continue because it was just too much for him. Man, Tyson Fury's glove, though, yeah, I never believed that Tyson Fury's glove was loaded, or weird or anything like that. I thought it was just regular gloves. He uses the Everlast brand that uses horsehair as opposed to the other brands that use foam. And because his uses horsehair, the way the glove distributes all the horsehair, it could move around. So it's not like a normal glove, like the hard gloves that you see, but it is still a legal Everlast horsehair glove. You could have a horsehair glove, or you could have a normal, the foam gloves that people normally have nowadays. And he likes to fight with the horsehair gloves, but there's nothing illegal with that. It's still the weight limit on it. It still has to be the same weight as the other gloves. So, bro, it'd be that horsehair. There you go. Look right there. You already know. You already know what it is. So yeah, that conspiracy, I never even took that seriously at all. And then look what happened in the third fight. He still won the third fight. Still was able to hurt Wilder. The only reason this fight kept going was because Wilder instructed his corner to not throw in the towel no matter what, and they didn't until it just got to the point where the referee had to stop the fight. Anthony Murchison was going on. When I said Ryan quit means nothing, I meant it doesn't make Ryan look bad, because we know that he quit because the punch that put him down made it pretty much impossible for him to continue. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, my fault. I misunderstood what you were saying. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that, Ryan, he's a quitter or whatever. It's still a bad situation. He still hurt his rib in training and then got it hurt again in the fight. So, and then in his mind, he probably could have gotten up, but he thought, why? It's just prolonging essentially what's the inevitable right now, because he's going to push. He's going to make it harder. It's not going to get easier from this point. It's only going to get harder, and nothing that I'm doing is working. So he conceded. He said, okay, checkmate. Cool. Checkmate, when somebody says checkmate, you didn't actually kill the king yet. You just put yourself in a position to kill the king on a chessboard. Checkmate is not when you kill the king, is when the other person doesn't have any moves left and their king is going to die. It's inevitable. So in Ryan's mind, he said, okay, cool, this is checkmate, handshake, fight over, you got it. You got it, you win. And by the way, guys, I cannot talk about Undisputed. So don't ask me. I won't put the questions up here on the video. I cannot talk about Undisputed at all, guys. I've said this multiple times. I've signed a contract with them. I work with the Steel City Interactive team with Undisputed, but I can only talk about their game on the Undisputed socials, on their channels. That's the only place you'll see me talk about Undisputed. I cannot talk about Undisputed on Boxing Fanatico YouTube. All right, so please do not ask me that question. Funnily enough, Haney versus Loma is labeled checkmate. Yeah, because they're trying to say it's a chess match or whatever, which I think so. I have my prediction for that fight, but I'm gonna wait till the fight gets closer. We're gonna do a live, and I'm gonna do my prediction on that fight. Haney versus Lomachenko. Who do you guys think is gonna win between Haney versus Lomachenko? I will not say who I think is gonna win yet. I'm gonna wait till we get closer, but I do want to know who you guys think is gonna win the fight. Let me see. Do you think Haney ready for Tank? Do I think Haney's ready for Tank, considering that they're both 29-0? I think that question should be flipped. I think the question should be, is Tank ready for Haney? Because Tank is a superstar and the face of boxing, in my opinion. But he hasn't fought the top tier people. The person who has fought the top tier people is Devin Haney. Devin Haney has the official belt, the supers, while Tank only holds one regular WBA belt at 135. Tank holds the official, the super belt, WBA at 135, and all of them, the WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO. So Haney is actually the top tier fighter that Tank should or should not be ready for. Do I think Tank is ready for Haney? Absolutely. So to answer your question in reverse, I think Tank is now ready for Haney. I think he's always been, but he just chose to fight lower quality fighters, right? Because I don't know, that's the strategy that they use with Tank. But I think Tank, now that he did that Ryan fight, now that he cracked that 1 million, keep cracking 1 million or coming close to it. The best way to do that is fighting people like Devin Haney, fighting people like Lomachenko, fighting people like Shakur Stevenson. But I think that they might go on the unfortunate route of going against Teofimo Lopez, which I wouldn't want. We got Poe in the house. What's going on, brother? What's up? Boxing video game wishlist site. What's going on, my man? Jay Shep with the, oh my God, with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. This is a cool man right here. Check his channel out if you haven't. Starting your stream off strong. Much love, my man. Thank you so much, Jay Shep. Thank you for coming through. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Why you streaming when I'm at work, gang? Oh, man, I don't know when you at work. You ain't tell me your work schedule, bro. I didn't know. I thought you was off. I thought, like, it's 7 o'clock. You know, I didn't know if you work 7 to 3 in the morning or whatever, and you was back. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know everybody's work schedule. Haney. So, you got Haney winning. Okay. I would not be surprised if Loma wins. Hot take. Okay, okay. Love Seat Shorty in the house. What's good, people? What's up? How you doing, brother? Thank you for showing up. I think Canelo's close to retirement. I give it 3 more fights or maybe 2 if he loses to Bivol again. I don't think he fights Bivol again. I don't think that fight happens again. I think that he's going to try to push the envelope and try to get a fight with Benavidez. I truly believe he's going to try to get a fight with Benavidez. Because you saw how much the numbers he did with the best numbers he's done recently was against Plant, and they were 800,000 buys. I think he wants to try to crack the 1 million. He's going to attempt to do that after this Tank and Ryan, the residual effects of that, and he's going to try to do that with Benavidez. I think he fights Benavidez in September. I truly believe that, but we'll see. I think the odds are stacked against Loma. I'll be rooting for him, but he's definitely the underdog. Loma is definitely the underdog, for sure. What would you have told Ryan if it was you in his corner as his trainer? Well, I mean, he should have used his distance and his height and reach. Why not use the tools that you have, your anatomy that can work for you against Tank? Tank is little. Tank is small. His arms are small. He needs to do work by getting on the inside. You need to make sure he never gets there, or he seldom gets there. Use your jab. But he was trying to fight like he was the small fighter, and that caused him to give Tank all the opportunity in the world to catch him with counters left and right. So he was fighting very wild as opposed to using his distance, which is how I predicted he would win if he used his distance, used his reach, which he did well against other fighters. He did it well against Javier Fortuna. So I was thinking that he would do it here, but he unfortunately didn't. I think the moment was too much for him, and then he got kind of nervous, and he just kind of started winging punches and nonstop, and they didn't even look fast. He just looked nervous the entire time, jittery the entire time. So Tank was very calm, cool, collected. Tank is good in the big stages. That's a big deal. A fighter could be real good, but when they get to that bright light, it makes them like a deer in the headlights. They can't really perform because they're so nervous from the moment. And I think that's what happened. So that's why I'm confused about this discussion. People seem to implying that Tank's body shot didn't hurt Ryan enough to stop him. No, it did hurt him enough to stop him, but it didn't hurt him enough to the point where he couldn't get up, where his body shut down. There's two different things. Like when Ryan hit, what was the? I already forgot the name of the guy. He just body shot. Well, Campbell, right? Campbell, I think. Yeah, I think Campbell. I don't know why his name is escaping me. If you guys know, just let me know in the comment section. But when he hit Campbell, Luke Campbell, there you go. When he hit Luke Campbell in the body, Luke Campbell was debilitated. He couldn't get up. His body shut down. When Bernard Hopkins hit De La Hoya in the body, his body shut down. It was a shutdown. So there's a difference. A shutdown is a difference where you to getting hurt and saying, you know what? I'm not going to get up, man. That's a choice. The other version is there is no choice. Your body literally does not allow you to get up. It's like when someone's knocked out, when someone gets knocked down and they let the ref count, but they're awake, versus somebody gets knocked out cold and the ref is like counting and then just waves it off. There's nothing that a knocked out cold fighter could do. There is something that a fighter that's awake could do. He could get up, but it's two different ways of being KO'd. And that's the same thing that happened with Ryan. Ryan could have continued if he wanted to. His body wasn't shut down, but the punch hurt him so much that he did not want to continue. But it also was because of him thinking of what else is going to happen after this. I might as well just end it here. Tank still not getting his respect, LMAO, but Shakur beating everyone. Yeah, I think so. I think Shakur beats everyone as well. Don't count Loma out. Haney hasn't faced anyone like him before, and he's not that old yet. Not to mention, he started his career older than most people, so he doesn't have that much wear and tear too. Love see Shorty. Loma doesn't have that much wear and tear because he's been fighting the top talent from the moment that he got in. I think his third fight was with Gary Russell Jr. That's crazy for the world title. So he's accelerated his ascent into boxing simply because he fought the high level fighters immediately as soon as he got in because he was a 2-time Olympic champion, Olympic gold medalist. So he's a beast. And he's not that much. There's not that much wear and tear on him. All right, let's see what else. What else do you guys have to say? I want to talk about what Ryan has been saying, because Ryan looks like he's cleaning house. It looks like no more of the team that's with Ryan is no more. So I'm wondering, we're probably gonna have to talk about that as well. Bivol will knock Canelo out if they fight again. Bivol could have stopped him in the first fight. I don't know if he knocks him out. I don't think Bivol is that type of a fighter. Like he could put pressure on him, but I think Canelo is good enough, because Canelo's a good fighter. Bivol is just better, but Canelo's good enough that he doesn't get taken out. I think he's good enough that he doesn't get taken out. I've only seen Canelo get rocked once ever, and he's fought big punchers, and he's only been rocked once, which is crazy. At Mr. T, he might and probably will outwork him again, but I don't think that he'll knock him out yet. I also expect Canelo to perform better in the rematch. I don't expect Canelo to fight him in the rematch. I promise you. I do not expect him to go into a rematch with Bivol. There'll be nothing for him to gain. Bivol wants to fight for all his titles, so Bivol wants to be undisputed. I don't think there's anything to gain about doing that. I really don't. All right, so he'll fight. LOL, money talks. But there's no money in fighting Bivol. There's more money. Money talks, meaning he's going to fight Benavidez. Or there's a Benavidez fight. Yo, Fanatico, you think the Benavidez Canelo fight could take fight of the year? I mean, I don't know. I've been surprised by so many different fights that have come up as fight of the year. It's tough. Does it have the potential? It does, because they're both kind of like come forward fighters, right? Canelo's feet is not fast, so Benavidez is gonna be right on top of him. Benavidez fights pretty squared up, but throws these crazy, vicious, high-speed punches. It's gonna be interesting. Does it have the potential to get into a space where it can be a fight of the year? Absolutely, because of the way that they both fight. Absolutely. It'll definitely not go to a decision, I'll tell you that. Well, I'm not going to put my predictions until that fight is made, because a lot of analysis has to be done before I do any prediction. All right, so let's see something. Let's see if I could pull up the stuff that Ryan has been saying, because Ryan is saying a lot of things. Why do I have to? You guys see everything good? Let me know if you guys see everything good, because I'm getting like these messages from YouTube. Guys, by the way, hit the like button. Hit the like, all good. Okay, hit the like button, please. It definitely helps the channel. Go ahead and hit the like button if you can, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. So every time I go live, and I go live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, you guys will be notified. We do this show every week. Every weekday. We do this show every weekday. So looking at this here, if we switch to YouTube videos, looking at this here, we got Ryan Garcia, and it looks like even from here where De La Hoya is talking about, what we're gonna do on Ryan's loss and what's the next step and all these different things, Ryan states, I haven't talked to anyone regarding how I'm going to move forward. I'm taking time to think about a lot of things. I wanted to make that very clear. He puts that in big, bold, big capital letters with an exclamation mark at the end. Very clear, which could indicate that maybe he doesn't continue with Golden Boy. That would be kind of risky. Can Ryan do something on his own? You can be a superstar, but putting together an entire production and all these different things require a lot of moving parts. It's tough to go completely solo. Even when Mayweather went completely solo, he wasn't really fully solo. He was fighting within like the Golden Boy promotion, right? He was fighting within Golden Boy promotion, but he was quote unquote solo because he wasn't contractually obligated to fight with them, but they ran a lot of the promotion. It's not an easy thing to do, to run the promotion. And then we have Mike Coppinger saying star boxer Ryan Garcia and trainer Joe Goossen have parted ways after 3 fights. Sources told ESPN, the last of which came versus Gervonta Davis, the pay-per-view event. Garcia's first was a massive commercial success. He'll now campaign at 140, but no decision has been made on his next trainer. So Ryan Garcia apparently did not like that ending, right? First of all, when you lose, normally one of the strategies is to change trainers. It always happens. That's a strategy that a lot of fighters use because then they could say, oh, look, with this new trainer, I feel different. I feel better. He's tweaked some things. So come out to see me fight. I'm going to come back strong and you'll see a different version of me. And that could help build them back up after a loss. So this is kind of like that is part of the strategy when it comes to that. So we can't say for sure that this is related to the incident that happened where he was at the post-fight press conference by himself. But Ryan wears his heart on his sleeve. Like, you know how Ryan feels all the time because Ryan tells you how Ryan feels all the time. Ryan doesn't sugarcoat much. He tells you the way he feels. And I think that he felt a certain type of way that De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, Joe Goossen, none of them were at his post-fight press conference. He was there essentially by himself with a representative of Golden Boy Promotions, but essentially by himself without his trainer. And I think that he didn't want, like, that made him feel weird, and he might be moving on. Now, who does he go to now? I mean, this is a tough thing for him because it's hard for me to think of a trainer that he would pick. It could be anybody, but it's just hard for me to think of a trainer that Ryan Garcia will pick. Who do you guys think he's going to go to? Do you guys think he's going to go back to Eddie Reynoso? Because I've heard people say that that's what he might do. Or do you think that he's going to get a new trainer completely? And with Ryan, does that even matter? Does getting a trainer even matter with Ryan? Because Ryan's always doing Ryan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Ryan always does his own thing, even when he fights. So I don't know. I don't know. That's gonna be weird. Let's see what he does. Mayweather should pick him up. That would be hilarious. Ryan has been very vocal about the fact that he doesn't like Mayweather that much. Like, he was always one of the guys that was pro, like Manny Pacquiao during that whole Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao fiasco that lasted about 5 years or 6 years. He was always pro Manny during that time. So I don't think he's a fan of Floyd Mayweather, but you never know. That might be a thing where it's like, your guy beat me, so maybe I want to learn from you. Like, what can you guys teach me that I don't have? That could be a thing. That's a possibility. What's up, Fanatico? Hugh the Dev, what's going on, brother? I think Ryan should sign with TMT and fight Rolly next, but he got to agree to never quit. Listen, man, it happens to the best of us, man. Sometimes it's just too much. Sometimes it's checkmate before you kill the king. Sometimes you just got to go with the checkmate. And I think that's what happened with Ryan. There's an older video going around of Ryan and his old trainer when he was a teenager. He put a paper on his face to keep his right up when jabbing the left. He might just have issues listening. LOL. Sway the gaming. Yeah, I mean that's possible too. He probably gets in his head and he wants to do something. One thing that I found interesting was that he said that he was bored. He was bored waiting and being patient. But him, when he was bored, he won the first round. He won the first round being bored. But that wasn't enough for him. It's like he wanted the chaos a little bit. He wanted the flurries and the punches flying and the knockouts and stuff. He wanted it so bad, he didn't want to wait for it. And I found that to be very interesting that he did that, because he fought more tactically against Luke Campbell than he did with Ryan Garcia. But that was his answer. His answer was, I felt bored in there, so I just took it to him. So I found that interesting, that was what was in his mind. And is that in his mind when he fights? And if it is, that's tough to work with. That's very tough to work with. He has a lot of natural talents, but what happens when you hit that ceiling or that wall of a really high IQ fighter or a really talented fighter as well? It's going to be difficult. So I don't know if he could continue going on fighting with that mentality where he's like, oh, I got bored, so I'm just going to go, throw punches and, go crazy. And then he was forced to go get bored again because he got dropped in the second round. So it made him go back to what he was doing, but now with less confidence, now with less vigor, now Tank with more confidence. So he should have just kept the pace a little bit. But I also think he was thinking that Tank was going to start to download all of his the data of what he was doing and was going to get him out of there. Maybe he feared that he didn't have enough tools to deal with that. So he was like, let me try to take him out early. But unfortunately, it completely backfired. But I do find that to be strange that was his thought process, that he was bored. That comes off as very impatient, and you need to be patient in boxing. He should get with Freddie. He should get with Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is possible, yeah. I could see a Freddie Roach kind of thing. Since he loves Manny Pacquiao, that was his favorite fighter. So I could see Freddie Roach being the guy that he goes to keep that whole kind of Manny Pacquiao lineage going. Let's see. Tank at 24 from the Nunez fight was more technical than current Ryan. Yeah, I mean, Ryan unfortunately did not use any of the tools that he should have used, which is his height and reach. He should have used his height and his reach, which means more jab more, throw that jab, but he did it. And Tank, credit to Tank. A lot of credit goes to Tank, because Tank kind of kept his jab at bay by pawing at the jab and keeping the jab there and framing it. He kept his jab at bay, so he couldn't really throw it. He definitely couldn't throw it as a jab because the way that Tank was, but he should have found a way to circumvent that. He should have angled out. He should have been stepping out, throwing, doing something to get around that issue where Tank is pawing at the jab, or paw at Tank's jab when Tank got his jab hand back. Just paw back at that to keep his thing at bay. Make sure you're protecting yourself, and then pull back when he's not expecting and throw a jab. You gotta outsmart, like, you can't let him dictate all the stuff that's gonna go on in the ring, and that's what Tank was doing, which is not good. So he didn't use his physical abilities or his physical attributes to his advantage. Haney would surely use his physical advantage against Tank. Oh, 100%. He uses it. He's jab city. Like, Haney is jab city. He'll hit you with the jab all night. I love it. Tank's ring IQ and adjustments in the Ryan fight were truly world class. Yeah, of course. Tank is, to me, Tank should no longer be fighting the Rollies of the world, the Isak Cruzes of the world, even though Isak Cruz gave him some problems. He shouldn't be fighting those guys. He need to be fighting the Lomachenkos, the Teofimo Lopez's, okay, even though it's not the greatest thing, but I mean, he should be fighting the Devin Haney's, the Shakur Stevensons from now on, moving forward. He shouldn't be fighting these guys anymore. That's it. Those days are done. You cracked the 1 million barrier. That means you could carry that momentum. Keep doing 1 million pay-per-view buys, which means you're carrying the casual fan. You will be crowned the new person that the casual fans want to come out to see, that the celebrities are going to pay to see, to be up close and personal at the events. You've crowned yourself that. Now, take that ball, do not drop it, and fight somebody that will continue that momentum. Mayweather fought people that maybe he shouldn't have fought early in his career. People want to say he did it late in his career. He did it earlier in his career. He fought people that he shouldn't have fought where it was dangerous, but he also fought people where it was like, come on, Mayweather, you need to fight this guy. But once he cracked that 1 million, which was with De La Hoya, he fought Ricky Hatton. He ended up fighting Marquez. He ended up fighting Sugar Shane Mosley, Miguel Cotto. Like, he just went on a barrage of fighting superstar fighters, Canelo Alvarez, nonstop. Contrary to what people might want you to believe, oh no, he cherry picked. If he cherry picked the best of the best. Miguel Cotto, Sugar Shane Mosley, Ricky Hatton. So he once he cracked the million, he carried that momentum. Never did under a million again until he fought Andre Berto in his final fight. Until he then came back and fought what's his name? Connor. Damn, I forgot his name too. Connor, the dude from the MMA. He's super popular. I always know his name. So it's not that I'm trying to say, hey, I don't know people from the MMA. Conor McGregor. There you go. Conor McGregor. Thank you. It's beautiful to have a chat that could just remind me of the names of these guys. So yeah, he needs to keep the ball rolling. Don't fumble the ball, because if you fumble the ball, the one thing that looks bad is hitting a million and then not hitting a million anymore. That looks bad. You want to hit a million and you want to keep on hitting a million. As long as you stay in the million range, you are a superstar in boxing, because that means that casuals are carrying that pay-per-view, because the diehard fans are not bringing pay-per-views to a million, not by a long shot. So that shows that Tank is that interesting. Tank is interesting enough to do a million pay-per-view buys. And people say Ryan, no, Ryan is the one that did it. Ryan is not the one that brought the pay-per-view numbers up to where they are. Tank is the one that did that. I don't know why people think it's Ryan, and I think people think it's Ryan because Ryan never did a pay-per-view, so his average is 1.2 million. But you just have to look at the hype behind Ryan's fights versus the hype behind Tank's fight. Ryan, it's hard for him to sell out an arena before he fought Tank. Why would it be hard for him to sell out? Those are the things that could tell you the interest of the public. If you can't sell out an arena, then maybe, like, if you were on pay-per-view, you're not going to get that many buys if you're just fighting a Javier Fortuna, right? But Tank went to so many different cities and sold them out. He didn't even have to go to his own city to be like, oh, this is where I'm from. I'm selling out because I'm from here. He was selling out all these different cities. So Tank was the star, but so was Ryan. The thing that made it 1.2 million was the impact of both of them fighting each other. But just like with Mayweather used to do 320,000 pay-per-view buys before he fought De La Hoya. He fought De La Hoya, did 2.1 million. After that, never did under a million pay-per-view buys, all the way up until he fought Andre Berto. From that moment, from De La Hoya, he just did million pay-per-views, million. Fought Canelo, 2 million, kept going, million. Everything was a million. And I think that Tank could do that too. because he opened up the eyes of the casual fans, because they cracked the 1.2 million, meaning casuals came to see him. So casuals want to feel, casuals like boxing. They like the grandiose feeling of boxing. They just don't know who to watch. The Ryan versus Tank fight let them know Tank is the person to watch. And they came to watch him. So they'll continue to watch him as long as it makes sense. As long as he's fighting somebody that makes sense, they'll continue to watch him. All right. What else are you guys saying? Tank sold out Barclays. Yep. Atlanta. Yep. Staples Center, etc. Exactly. While Ryan couldn't sell those out. So if you're going to tell me, how can you have been able to do millions of pay-per-view buys on your own if you can't sell out arenas? Selling out arenas in different locations is a big tell. That's how you know. That's how I was able to predict stuff like million pay-per-view buys based on certain buzz and certain turnout. It's dependent on the turnout, the buzz, the who's picking this up. These are outlets that normally don't pick up these fights. This is interesting. Who's talking about it? That's how you can create a prediction for over 1 million pay-per-view buys. I mean, my prediction was better than people that work at Showtime, right? Because they predicted less than 1 million. But I'm looking at Twitter, I'm looking at social media, I'm looking at other news outlets that don't normally talk about this. I'm looking at sports outlets that don't normally talk about this. I'm looking at my friends and family. Like, hey, yeah, Tank is gonna fight Ryan. Like, whoa, you don't know about, you never ask me about boxing. Like, never. When you come, you don't even know who's fighting. And now you're texting me about Ryan versus Tank. I gauged the temperature and I was able to discern that this could crack 1 million. That's how you do it. If Ryan was to fight Javier Fortuna on pay-per-view, that thing would not even hit 200,000 pay-per-view buys. It would not have hit 200,000. Now, if Tank fights somebody else, it is possible he could hit 200, 300, 400,000 because they brought out the casual fans. And the casual fans will stay linked to you. That's just how it works. They'll stay linked. But I think Tank won out because he won the fight. So now the casual fan that doesn't really know about boxing, it's like an easy test that they pass. Like, oh, I know Tank is good because this was a big fight and he won. So the next time he fights, I want to see him fight. That's how casual minds work. Casual minds don't work intricately. It's not like, not to say that they're dumb. I'm not saying that they're dumb. They just don't invest enough time into the sport, right? They're not investing their time and effort into learning the sport or knowing about the sport. So what they end up doing is just going, hey, he's the guy, right? Everyone agrees? Okay, cool. Now I agree as well. That's normally what happens with casual fans. That's what happened with Floyd Mayweather too. But the cool thing about Tank is I think Tank is becoming popular where people like him. It's the Mike Tyson effect, not the Floyd Mayweather effect. People think that Tank is doing the Floyd Mayweather because he got the millionaire. I think he's the blueprint that he got, that he's going with, is the little guy that'll knock you out. That's Mike Tyson. And when you the little guy that'll knock you out, people cheer for you. They cheer for Tank all the time. They cheered Tank and they booed Ryan. At the event, they cheered Tank and they booed Ryan. And I was actually shocked by that, but that's literally what happened. Jay Shep, hold up. In my opinion, Tank is a prize and ego fighter more than a legacy fighter. He wants to beat up who talks and where the money is more than getting them belts. Yeah. But if you fight people like Devin Haney, who's undisputed, then you're fighting the best, right? You're fighting the people who are actually the best, because those things, being undisputed, is super hard to do. That means there is no other world champion in your division. You are the only sole world champion. So I think that is an interesting thing. If he just continues fighting the regular people that aren't at the level of a Devin Haney, I think that it may hurt him, right? It may hurt him. I think where the money is at is fighting Devin Haney and Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson and even Teofimo Lopez to a lesser extent. I guarantee Ryan versus Barrios, Rolly, Cruz, Hector Garcia would have sold less than when Tank fought them. Yeah. That 100%, I 100% agree with that. It definitely would have sold less than when Tank, because Tank was already a crossover star in the boxing world. Ryan, it was up in the air. We didn't know. He wasn't selling out arenas like Tank, but I think putting them together was just like explosive. So much so that it crossed the 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. 80% of celebrities were there to see Tank. I mean, we don't know the exact percentage, but I'm sure. I'm sure they were there to see him for the most part. Tank's numbers for this fight against Ryan were high because of Ryan, not Tank. Huh? That doesn't make any sense. The numbers were high because of both of them, not because of Ryan and not Tank. It was high because both of them. If Ryan was to fight by himself, he would not have made $1 million. If Tank fights by himself, he would not make $1 million. And by himself, I mean somebody that's not really known or nothing. There's no hype behind them. They're both not going to make $1 million. They both made $1 million because they fought each other. But I do believe, once again, I bring back the Mayweather parallel to this, so people understand how that works. Mayweather, before Mayweather fought De La Hoya, Mayweather averaged 300,000 pay-per-view buys. His fight with Arturo Gatti did 300,000. His fight with Carlos Baldomir did 315,000. He was doing around 300,000, give or take. He fought De La Hoya and jumped from 300,000 to 2.1 million. Now, in that instance, you could say the reason Mayweather got 2.1 million was because of De La Hoya, not because of Mayweather. And at that moment, when that fight happened, you would be almost exactly right. You would be like, you hit it right on the head. It's De La Hoya. He's doing $1 million versus Mayorga. It's because of De La Hoya that Floyd did 2.1 million. But after he fought De La Hoya, he went on to fight Ricky Hatton, did 1.15 million. Went on to fight Juan Manuel Marquez, did over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Continued, went on to fight Mosley and did another 1 million plus. Went on to fight Canelo, got back to the 0.05 million that got right next to where De La Hoya was. Went on and eventually fought Manny Pacquiao and doubled what he did with De La Hoya. So the fight between Ryan is the turning point for Tank, where he can now be a superstar and the face of boxing. And if he continues and he does it right, where he's fighting actual dance partners, which is what we call in boxing, somebody who could actually bring in hype because they also are a fighter that has hype behind them, like a Devin Haney or Lomachenko. If he has a dance partner, I think he crosses over that 1 million barrier as well and keeps that flow going. So they got that because they both fought, but it's not like when Tank fights somebody else, you're going to go all the way back down to 200,000. Even if Tank fights somebody who's not that big of a deal, I think he doesn't go close to 200,000. I think he stays at least to 500,000 pay-per-view buys. At least. So this event has elevated not just Tank, but both Tank and Ryan. And it's only because they both fought that that they hit that number. None of them individually could have hit that number. Not even close. All right, hold on. What y'all saying? Hold on. Hate to break it to you, but nah. What are y'all talking about? Hold on. Y'all having a whole conversation here. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how I feel about Joe Floyd fighting John Gotti III. I think it's hilarious. That cry emoji, that laughing cry emoji is how I feel about it. I think it's just a hilarious thing. This man is hilarious. Floyd Mayweather is hilarious. Like, his exhibitions are hilarious. That's all I'm gonna say. Did you guys see the press conference? I watched it. hilarious. That's all I gotta say, man. Everything with Floyd right now with exhibitions is hilarious. Let me see. AP, whatever. What you said? Whatever. What are you even talking about? Canelo no longer wants Bivol. He hasn't called out Bivol for a second fight. I think he mentioned that he wants a second fight with Bivol. He wants his rematch, and that's what he's pushing for. I don't think he does it. I think that he ends up not doing that and goes against Benavidez instead, because that makes more sense. And especially after the success of Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis, I think he also wants his success pay-per-view. So I think he's going to push to fight Benavidez and not Bivol, because that would actually be detrimental to Canelo's career if he goes and fights Bivol and loses again, which will probably happen. Mayweather even sold exactly 1 million buys against Logan. I mean, look at that, man. But, you know, that's Logan was pulling people and Floyd, and it was just like there was little kids that really thought Logan Paul was going to beat Floyd in a fight where you can't even win or lose because it's an exhibition that's not being scored. So this is the mind of casual fans, man. All you got to do is convince them that this is an event that matters, and they'll come out. They were convinced that Tank versus Ryan mattered. The casual fans were convinced that it mattered, and they came out. So that's all you got to do. My man said, Fanatico, get this man. Ryan was the bigger draw in this fight. He has a huge social media following and promoted this fight more than Tank did. Okay, so Logan Paul has a bigger social media following than Ryan Garcia. And so does Floyd Mayweather in terms of Tank, right? Like, even if you looked at Floyd Mayweather as Tank's social media following in comparison, Floyd has way more. Why did they only do exactly 1 million pay-per-view buys? How did Ryan, with less of a social media following than Logan Paul, do 1.2 million against Tank? See, the thing is, once you put a logical consistency to your argument, it starts to fall apart. On surface level, in a very straw man way, you can make that argument. But once you connect logical consistency to it, it falls apart. There's more elements. It's more complex than what you're trying to make it. Oh no, Ryan has got to be Ryan because he got his social media. Look at the numbers, and if you look at his numbers, that's automatic. If it's all about the numbers of your social media, Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, this should have sold 5 million pay-per-view buys. Because ain't nobody you're going to find in boxing even close to Logan Paul in terms of his social media following. So it ain't about social media. It ain't just about social media. It's way more. It's more complex than you think. I think you think it's just a simple do some math and you get a percentage and there you go. No, it's way more complex than that. Way more complex. At this rate, Floyd will be 50-0 in his exhibition career. If he keeps fighting John Gotti, yo, I might be in the minority on this one. But I wanted to see Floyd Mayweather and KSI versus Salt Poppy and Manny Pacquiao tag team. Am I by myself in that thought process? If we're going to get an exhibition, that's the one that I want to see. Floyd and KSI tag team versus Salt Poppy and Manny Pacquiao. I mean, let me know in the comment section if I'm crazy. Let me know in the comment section if I'm crazy. Is that not something that y'all want to see? My man said, I still want to see Mayweather versus T.I. Oh my God, that's such old beef, bro. That's old beef. Tag team box. Hey, listen, that was cool, man. Like, I don't think it's the greatest thing, but if they did Mayweather and KSI versus Salt Poppy and Manny Pacquiao, is that not an interesting thing? Like, yes, it's a thing that's weird, but it's interesting as all heck. I want to see what happens. Imagine the moment where Salt Poppy tags in Manny, and then Manny's like, nah, tagging Floyd. And then KSI's like, yo, Floyd, you want this? And then Floyd's like, man, get me in here. And everybody's going to be like, oh, snap, It's like a rematch. It's like a mini rematch. They about to get it on. And then like Manny just like, last time you made me like I wasn't throwing punches. Now I'm gonna go crazy because it's exhibition. I don't care. And then Floyd got to figure that out. Come on, man. Come on, man. That would be so good. That would sell so much and hype people up so much. That's what Floyd should have done. And Manny. That's what they should have done. But that's just me, man. That's just me. I like that stuff. I like that stuff when it makes sense. And Floyd KSI tag teaming against Salt Poppy and Manny Pacquiao, that make a lot of sense. That make a lot of sense. That would have been fire. Exactly. And they were floating that. And I was like, oh snap, this is something that would actually, this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. Some real WWE is, exactly. It would have been straight up WWE style. Floyd would have had to look at the crowd before he tagged in too, while the crowd's hyping him up, and he's like, tags him in, and then the crowd just goes crazy, and then Manny's like, yo, let's go, and then Manny starts going ham on him, and like, yo, come on, man. Come on. Think about it. I know it sounds weird because it's all tag team and all this stuff, but just think about it for a little bit, man. It makes a lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. Yup, I will pay for that for sure. Yo, me too, man. Me too. As much of a circus as it would be, that would be crazy. Guys, yo, he reminded me. If y'all ain't hit the like yet, hit the like. Hit the like. Please hit the like and hit that subscribe because we just doing videos like this consistently. We are live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we're having a good time. Yeah, that would be entertaining. 100%. 100%. What? Whatever, maybe not scared, but he's definitely not confident that he can beat Bivol. Canelo doesn't need to fight at lightweight, heavyweight. I prefer if he fought Benavidez and Charlo instead. Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with this. I do not necessarily think that Canelo would beat Bivol in a rematch, and I think that would do more harm to his career, and he should be fighting the likes of Benavidez and Carlo. I think he wanted to say Charlo instead. I do agree with this, and I think that Canelo will go this route, especially because of the success that just happened with Ryan Garcia versus Tank. I think he wants to show. Canelo right now has to defend his position as the face of boxing. Because right now it's looking like it's Tank. And if he doesn't defend his position as the face of boxing, it's going to start completely shifting towards Tank. He needs to do something to kind of shift the narrative. And the only way he could do that is by fighting a Benavidez. He did numbers with Caleb Plant. Benavidez just beat Caleb Plant. This could do numbers. He could cross over 1 million. If him versus Caleb Plant is 800,000, him versus Benavidez can cross that 1 million range. Anyways, we just hit the hour mark, so we're gonna go ahead and end the live stream. Thank you so much for coming out, guys. I will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time, as we talk more boxing. We got the Canelo fight happening this Saturday, which is super important. We're gonna have to touch on that, but one of the things that I definitely want to touch on is that Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, because that's the next super fight. Who are we kidding? That is the next super fight that is coming up, and it's right around the corner. May 20th, I believe. Could be wrong, but around that time, that's when they're going to fight. And we have to start talking about that. Thank you very much to everybody. W's, I'm seeing the W streams. Thank you. I love the love that I'm getting from you guys. Make sure to show up tomorrow. Hit that like on your way out. Hit that subscribe on your way out. And we will see you in the next one, guys. Thank you so much. Peace out.